That's all. Miss, pardon me. Roll call, please.
Michael Chandler.
Here.
Kel Crane.
Here.
Jordan DeLon.
Here.
Tabitha Jenny.
Here.
Terry Hickey.
Here.
Terry Hodges.
Here.
Dusty Mabel.
Here.
Kenny Smith.
Here.
Rick Wall.
Here.
Michael Woodley.
Here.
Maybe will you lead us in word of prayer?
Yeah. God, I just thank you for this day that you've given us, Lord. I pray, God, as we're here, Lord, to make decisions, I pray help us to make the right decisions, God, that be best beneficial to this county. And God, Lord, let's never let us forget, God, your goodness. We just give you thanks and praise in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. On the agenda is approve, disapprove minutes of meeting on February 28th as printed.
Mr. Chairman, I make the motion.
Ms. Denny's made a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Green made a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 6, resolution for Van Buren County to join the state of Tennessee and local government as participants in the Tennessee State Subdivision Opioid Abatement Agreement and approval of the related settlement agreement. Mr. Mayor, you explain that to us?
What this is, last month we had this, you got the packet with explaining all that there. This is a resolution that they just sent last week. That's the reason that we had to hurry everything up. They sent the resolution that they needed this in resolution form before April the 18th. And so by being that, then we went ahead and just had the meeting tonight.
All of the county attorneys, we have a Zoom conference Thursday afternoon at 1:30. There's approximately, I think, 150 attorneys across the state that will be joining that. I'm joining for Van Buren and for Bledsoe.
Hear a motion to approve this?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, approve, disapprove health department bid from 39 to 55,100 in the amount of 28,930 for HVAC units. That will be, what this is just moving some money.
Correct me if I'm wrong, this is already the grant money that we approved. It's just requesting the pull from that grant to purchase this HVAC.
Yes, we only had the one bit, Ms. Angela.
So I want to make sure that y'all understand that it's not the 295 that we're talking about. This money is a grant from 2021 under previous administration that was signed into just for an HVAC unit. It was originally signed in August of 2021 for the amount of $23,400, and then we went through multiple amendments because prices kept changing during 21, 22, because the first bid process we had 3 bids and our lowest bid at that time, was 23,400. And by the time that we actually got the contract in place, it had increased just due to COVID and all those things. So we went back, asked for an amendment. This went back and forth multiple times. And then it was signed again by Greg in August of 2022. So 2021, then 2022. And it was signed for $28,930, which is what we're at now. When we went back to the original bid, that one, their bid came back really high for another amendment of almost 40,000. So at that point in time, it was discussed between the mayor and I that we would rebid it because that was a very large amendment to make. And so we placed the bid for 2 weeks. We closed it on the 28th. We had one bid and it was for the amount that was asked. So yes.
Actually, it was for 29,800, and I called him and says, we only got 28,930. If you want to take this for that bid, that would be accepted, but if it wouldn't, then it would have to be rebid again. And the time frame, I think, was killing you to rebid again.
Yes, correct. He was actually over the bid amount, and he chose to lower his bid. Yeah. So this is back from 2021 money, so it's not the 295. I just wanted to make sure y'all were aware of that, because it's very confusing. We have like 4 pots of money right now, so.
Because we thought it was coming out of the 295.
Nope, this is completely separate.
Yeah, because it shows it coming out of the 295 line item.
It does. That's what I'm saying, that's a mistake on our part, because that's where I thought it was coming from.
Yeah, it's completely separate. This money is a completely separate grant and a completely separate
Have you got
contract.
the line item there, number?
So any state money, though, should still come out of that line item, which is going to be the same line item. It's just going to be a different contract.
So it'd reimburse into the same line item number.
Correct. Federal funding should be out of one line item and state out of the other. And this is still a state contract, state funding.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
Still should be the same
She said
line
it'd still be
item.
the
It's
same.
coming from 3,900,
Yeah, it's still state funded.
39,000.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion.
Ms. Denny's made the motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Who was that, Raul?
That was me.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Terry Hickey,
Yes.
Terry Hodges,
Yes.
Dusty Maple,
Yes.
Kenny Smith,
Yes.
Rick Wall,
Yes.
Michael Woodley.
Yes.
Anyone wish to
Also,
change?
while she's standing there,
They
oh,
what?
I'm sorry.
Hang on. Anybody wish to change their vote? Motion carried. Now go ahead.
She has information on the asbestos in the building too, if she can give it at this time.
I'm concerned she can't.
If it's good news, we want to hear it. If it's bad, just go ahead and say it.
Okay, well, there is asbestos, which we knew that was gonna happen, so, I wasn't surprised. Estimated abatement cost currently is $8,000, which I felt was very good news, because that is going to come out of your appropriations, which appropriations is $24,000. So we had up to $24,000 to use for this abatement, so that's something that we won't have to worry about going over that budget at all. So with that being said, there's some questions that have to be asked with the abatement. It's downstairs, underneath the floor, which is what we thought was gonna happen. So my questions to them is, okay, you're gonna open up the floor, what does that look like for us as far as moving everything out? How long does that have to be uncovered? You know, just logistical questions, because we have a lot of expensive, heavy dental equipment downstairs. And so I'm waiting for them to answer me back on that. And we'll have to move from there once they answer all those questions. But going forward, they said the next part of this process, because the 295's already been approved, we have the contract ready, is we would go ahead and take bids for a contractor and an architect, and that's our next step. So I got that this week, and I'm actually gonna talk to the mayor tomorrow, because they're on a call tomorrow for other funding. So we've got a lot of funding. But that should be our next step, is start that bid process for the architect, for them to come in, give us, you know, a layout of what this looks like, what the work looks like, the scope, and how much everything's gonna be.
Well, you said it's in the concrete, is that what you're saying it's at?
Yep, so I've got the report if you would like it. I don't understand it, but you might understand it a little bit more than I do. It was found in the caulk in the aluminum door frames. It was found throughout the basement underneath the tile. And I'm looking to see where else.
Is this a glue that they've used?
That's not surprising.
Yeah, I think that was the two places that they found it. So, and I can email y'all a copy of this. But that's our next steps. I thought it was good news as far as the cost. You know, being under the 24,000 is what we were hoping for, and that's significantly under that.
And I'll get you a copy sent to everybody tomorrow there. That way everybody can study it, and then we can go from there.
Perfect. And then, of course, we'll come back to budget with the bids and all those things as soon as we start the architect process. Any other questions on that? Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 8, approval of the equalization members for 2023. What I've got, let's see.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Mr. Woodley's made the motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Who was that? Hodge? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is the grinder pump sewer for the ag building. We have a list in front of us, says utility department will install the sewer grinder pump for the ag center at the cost of $4,500. And they will donate the labor and materials to install the sewer line, which will include the $2,000 road borer. Total cost of the project, they're saying it's $6,500, but it will be $45,000 to us, approximately. Is that right, Mr. Binkley? All right. Need a motion on that?
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Woodley made a motion to approve.
Mr. Chandler.
I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
fine.
sorry. Mr. I'm sorry. All right, second.
I'll second it.
Who's that? Okay, now, any discussion?
I did discuss this with Ms. Farmer, and she said that according to their bylaws and things like that, that they could not give the equipment for free, but the labor that she could get by with, so that's the reason for the $4,500.
Do we know what line item this is gonna come out of?
Well, I mean, not for sure, we have to find,
If it comes out of building and maintenance, will we have?
I don't know if there's enough in building and maintenance right now or not. The biggest thing was trying to get it passed to make sure it was,
Any more discussion?
because I can tell you right now, the septic tank, and Mr. Chris can too, when it rained here a while back, he called me to come over there. The bathrooms were flooding in the basement there. And so when we started looking, I says, have they done anything? And they had went down there to where the hamburgers are cooked. There is a GFI down there that is served out of that building, and the breakers were cut off so that no electricity would be used. But when that breaker was cut off, it killed the sewer pump. And so that's how, that was the mess that we got into there.
Amend it today so they can.
Okay, well, that would be good if you know it right off the top of your
401-518-00-335.
Pretty good, rattle that off your head.
It is.
What was that again? What was that? Hey, what was that number again?
101-518-00-335, and that's county buildings for general fund.
You wanna to bring that up now, or you want to wait until new business? We're gonna have to approve it sometime.
No, I mean, it's good with me now if it's good with y'all. I mean, this is on the agenda, so adding the line item shouldn't bother, should it, Howard?
You know for a fact that the funds are there to pay it? And that line item?
In maintenance, they, probably not, because we've had to move money around twice already. I mean, when it comes to maintenance there, it's costing a ton.
We're gonna have to find a different line item for it to come out of.
You just have to put the money in that line item from your fund balance.
Right.
Your fund balance is 39,000.
Yeah.
You'd have to approve that 4,500 tonight to extra to go in there.
We've got a motion on the floor to approve it. And second. Roll call, please, Ms. Clerk.
Michael Chandler.
Yes.
Phil Crane.
Yes.
Jordan DeLon.
Yes.
Timothy Benny.
Yes.
Terry Hickey.
Yes.
Terry Hodges.
Yes.
Dusty Maple.
Yes.
Kenny Smith.
Yes.
Rick Wall.
Yes.
Michael Woodley.
Yes.
Now then, do we want to, we'll have to do it again, won't we? We'll have to
I'll
go.
bring you the numbers back, yes, where they have a tracking record there as far as.
That's okay. All right, number 10. This, remove $18 a month sanitation fee for the E91 at 1150 Old Dunlap Road. They've been paying this the whole time, as far as we know.
Yes.
County paying the county.
I make a motion to remove it.
Mr. Crane made a motion to remove it. I hear a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, the County event, Van Buren County Homecoming Committee is requesting that they be covered under our insurance blanket policy at the old courthouse square and the garbage container for the event.
Do I need to talk on that, or? Well, I took chairman last week, so I talked to Lisa, and she said how they'd always fell under the county policy was they joined the Park and Rec Board. I called Sprouse and talked to Tim Harris, and he said if the commission would just say, yes, this is a county event, then we would just fall under it instead of all of us joining the Park and Rec Board. And in years past, there was a dumpster dropped at no fee to the homecoming committee, so.
Could we, is there any thoughts in just having it at the fairgrounds instead of writing? Since there's more space, parking, facilities?
Yes, that would be great, but there's not the electricity there. And we don't have the funds right now. We started from zero, so we don't have the funds to do that. We will probably barely have the funds to fix the electric, and that's probably with the mayor donating some labor.
A lot of labor.
A lot of labor. He said it would be free labor, though.
Yeah, I'm not gonna charge you anything.
But we're too poor to pay for it anyways right now, so.
That area, is it got the electrical to?
It has to be
Yes,
updated.
it's been there, and also the state wiring inspector was there inspecting the chamber building the other day. And so I had him walk over there with me, and he told me what he wanted done to pull it up to standard for him to
Big
come in.
ordeal. Is it a big ordeal?
Putting GFI plugs and weatherproof covers and, I mean, yes, costly, yes. But he could have hit us harder than what he requested there.
Is there any insurance that the school has for school events that this falls under? Like basketball games and,
Well, for the last 27 years, it's just fell under the county's policy. I mean, it's just, guess-
that's how it, by joining the parks?
in the last several years, that's how they done it. Years before, I'm assuming it just was assumed that it was you know, but after talking to Lisa, they did, the last several years, join the Park and Rec Board. When the prior mayor, that's what he had asked them to do, to be able to say it was a county event, because they were the Park and Rec Board.
So that brought it under the county policy then?
But Tim Harris, I don't know if y'all know Tim, he's our agent for Sprouse. He just said if it was just considered a county event, approved by the commission, it would be covered on that day. And in years past, talking to Lisa, there's been 2 claims, a tent, and the other one was someone hit a gas line, but the gas company fixed it, so the insurance didn't have to pay out.
Is the city approving the event as far as the road shutdown?
We go the 30th to get the permits for that.
Any action?
I make a motion to approve.
Woodley.
I'll second.
Mr. Woodley made a motion to approve, Ms. Dennis second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.
Mr. Chairman, on number 9, I thought that we had the line item that we were paying that out of.
We did have, but we'll have to come back.
And restate it?
Yes, and revisit that, will we not?
Yes, I'll have to find enough money and then bring it back to identify the line item number.
She gave us the line item it's going in, right, Jessica? Or is it coming?
If there's not enough money, then we'll have to look for it somewhere else.
Ask for more.
Which that will be brought to you back in the next meeting, if that's okay with everyone.
Okay.
Item number 12, Mr. Cope's here with the schools to present us some information about our upcoming budgeting year.
Thank you, ma'am.
This first thing I have here is I'm needing county court approval on making the amendments to our 141 budget for this school year. And anytime I move money into a 100 line item or take it out of, I have to have the county court's approval, okay? I've already gotten school board approval. And these result from, if you look at page 2, I'm asking for 141 budget revenue amendments also. These are new donations that one said is donations, the other are grants that we have gotten. The first one is donations that we've gotten for the homeless program, where we did the Chamber of Commerce building things. The $77,000 was an additional allotment we got from BEP, which is our current funding formula. The $80,000 is additional money that we got for pre-K. $250,000 is the ISM, which is an innovative school model, and the Spark grant, and that'll be more next year. The $15,000 and the $7,500 is safety money, and so it will go into 2 different things. Depends on what we pay for it. And if you add these numbers up for the budget revenue, that's over $459,000. That's additional grants that we have gotten, okay? The first page, these 100 line items, they take up $178,500 of those grants.
You say that one more time.
$178,500.
Well, that's allocated from the
From the second page.
From the second page.
Yes. And that's the only thing we have to take in front of the county commission is the 100 line items. Anything that affects salary is what we have to take in front of the county commission. But I am asking for your approval on both of these tonight, on 141 budget amendments and on the revenue amendments.
Page is gone, pay the front page.
Yes. And then it covers other stuff too. It's just that I don't have to take them in front of the county commission. Yep.
Any action on this?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion been made by Mr. Woodley. We approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Mooney, second. Do I need to roll call that? Roll call, please.
Michael Chandler,
Yes.
Hill Crane,
Yes.
Jordan DeLon,
Yes.
Tabitha Denny,
Yes.
Terry Hodges,
Yes.
Harry Hickey,
Yes.
Dusty Maple,
Yes.
Kenny Smith,
Yes.
Rick Wall,
Yes.
Michael Woodley.
Yes.
And I'll tell you right now, I'll be coming back before you guys with more budget amendments as far as revenue, because we just got notice last night that we got another $50,000 for an ELC grant. So I'll have to come back to you, but we don't know it until it happens, so.
Thank you.
Not, but we have a new funding formula for this next year with the school system, and it's called TISA, or TISA, which is Tennessee Investment in Student Achievement. In the past, it's been BEP, okay? The first page that I gave you is our February estimate, okay? And if, I've got it highlighted down there, how much we will be getting from the state, okay? And that's as of right now, okay? It's a totally different system. We don't know much about it yet. We're learning every day that we go along, but about 2 years ago, I came and spoke to the county commission, I spoke to the budget committee, and then I did again in January of '22. We kind of had a joint meeting. It was a school board meeting, but we invited the county commissioners, and we addressed the new funding formula. And I told them what I thought, that in 5 years, that the county would end up having to donate or contribute more money as part of their maintenance of effort. And I asked that they do it a little bit along. Maybe 2 years ago, if they'd given us another $150,000, and then last year, if they would have given us another $150,000, which would be $300,000, and then it wouldn't be as much to contribute this, what they're projecting right now. And if you look on page 2, it's highlighted. Projected maintenance of effort is over $1.5 million from the county. When I looked last week, the part the county contributes to us, the school system, is $1,084,000. I have a meeting next week in Nashville that I will get to talk to one of the major finance people at the Department of Ed. I'm hoping that this will be done slowly, and it won't just hit in 2023. Okay? I don't know what's going to happen, but I want you guys to be aware that I have brought it to the commissioners the last 2 years, and nothing was done with it. No additional money given to the school system from the county. But right now, this is what the projection is. Okay? I don't want you to be caught off guard when it comes out saying that you guys got to give us $400,000+ more. Now, I will tell you this, if you look at, on that second page, if you look at the ADM, which is the average daily membership for fiscal year '23, it's estimated that we're going to have 705 students, and that's based on past enrollment. If you look at page 1, our average for the first 5 months of this school year, down toward the middle where it has base, and then the amount we get per student, and then how many students, it's an average. And right now, we're averaging 740 students, which is an increase of 35 students. So that means more TISA money for us, for the school system, but it's also going to affect your maintenance of effort. If our money goes up from the state, you know what happens to the counties. Now, our enrollment has dropped a little bit since we got this February estimate, but not a lot. Maybe 4 kids, it might have gone down. Because we've had some leave, we've had some come in, but these are averages right now. I just want you to be prepared. Y'all have any questions of me on TISA? I may be able to answer and I may not.
Was we supposed to get this 5 days in advance?
Possibly, but I was just letting you know. And I took it to him. I took it to David last week, Wednesday, I think.
I think so.
Not
But he,
needing action on it.
no,
It's just the FYI thing.
yeah,
Information anyway, yeah.
yeah. I was just letting you guys know
I
that,
don't know, I'm just asking.
yes, yeah, and that's fine.
It's coming down the pipeline that we're gonna have to
It's
forego
coming.
more money. But this could have been diverted in years past if money was allocated.
I mean, 100,000 each year would be great,
Yeah.
but, and that would not put it so much right now,
How often do y'all get new estimates
each month.
each month?
And usually it's right at the end of the month, so next week I should get our March estimate. Usually our final doesn't come out, and this is on BEP. Of course, I don't know how TISA is going to be, but BEP in July was when we got our final estimate. I'm hoping June will be the final estimate, because we've got to make plans. You guys have to make plans for your budget.
How was it changed from?
Why was it changed from BEP? BEP was about 30 years old, and Governor Lee wanted to come in with a new formula, and he did. And this will take the place, our TISA money will take the place of some of the grants we get. CSH, which is Coordinated School Health, it's built in with the TISA. Safety money, but I do think there's going to be more safety money just because of Homeland Security, if you've heard about all that's going on. Let me think. Family Resource Center is another one that's included, and the SRO is supposed to be included in it.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Anybody got anything else for Ms. Cope?
Pardon? Right now, that's what's projected right there. Yeah. And like I said, right now, this school year, it's $1,084,000 is what the county has to come up with. But when I get the next estimate, I will send a copy to David. and he can get it out to everybody, or we can do another meeting here and talk about it, and maybe I'll find out more when I go to my meeting next week. I can do that. I'd be glad to do that.
Okay with everybody else.
Yeah, because, but I just want you guys to know that I did talk to them in the budget committee several times here in person, and then when I had COVID in last January in '22, and so I had to Zoom in, but they had all this stuff too, and they could ask me questions, and it was known then, so.
So is there a chance that we can have another joint meeting as far as school board and commission, especially budget?
Yeah. And
We're all new.
yes. And you need to know some of this stuff, and if you got questions, you know, some of the school board may be able to answer it, or if I can't, or I can, and that way everybody's on the same page.
And it's changed since I've been there, so.
Yep, we've got some new ones on there. You're welcome. Yes. Thank you.
Moving on, moving on to item number 13. This is to approve or disapprove the bond for Mark Medley for a county constable, and you have it there, number 13 on it. That's what it is. It's to approve his bond. That's what it is. So we need any action on that?
So what happens if it's not approved or action's not taken on it?
Really, more or less acknowledgement, isn't it? Howard, is it more or less acknowledgement for the minutes? Is it approving his bond or acknowledgement? All I know is I have to have the bond in the minutes.
You're actually approving his bond is what you're doing.
Okay.
You're approving. The action stating that bond is sufficient, complies with the statute, which it does, and approving the company that's issued it, State Farm.
Motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Mr. Lawton made a motion to approve. Mr. Crane second. Is all in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? You opposed? Smith opposed? Motion carried. All right, number 14 is old business. Mr. Mayor,
I don't have any.
anybody got any old business?
Is the truck old business, or is
I
that
was
new
gonna bring
business?
it up under new, because we,
Kinda old.
Terry, Mr. Hodge, he brought that to me the other day, and so I've got it there. It could be under either, I guess.
A little bit of both.
It's both.
We'll go on and put it under new business. What you got?
Right, new business there, well, solid
Everybody
waste.
get their paper.
The solid waste, has everybody got a copy of it out?
The estimate on putting the transmission in the old truck, that's what, if nobody understands what we're talking about.
This is to do all the repairs that it needs to be able to get it ready to be able to be a backup truck again.
Down here on the bottom, it said total cost for installation of job is $750 before tax, and I don't see that we have to pay no tax, right?
Shouldn't have to, no.
That's what I thought.
Total job is $63.50. That's for a new transmission and all the other parts that he found that needed to be repaired.
He told us to start with $6,000, didn't he?
I think that's what it was,
Yeah.
and then he checked on the transmission, it come
Right.
out.
Right.
We don't have a line item to pull this out of.
But this would be out of the garbage,
Solid waste.
solid waste, it'd have to come out of solid waste.
Any action?
What's the value of the truck?
I don't know that we know the value of that truck.
Got a brand new engine. pretty
The
much.
value of a truck to replace it, from what I've found, is around 30,000.
Motor's worth
It's
a
worth
bunch.
30,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motor in the truck's worth 30.
It was just rebuilt, what, just a few years
Years
ago?
ago, then the transmission
Yes,
went out.
and the transmission.
They put a brand new cable on it and everything. It's,
You have a maintenance sheet on it, with maintenance been kept up on it, signed on it, and oil's been
No.
changed in it, and
Not a current, but will be.
I doubt if we got any maintenance reports on it, if you want to know the truth about it.
It's not been driven during our term, though.
That's right.
It's been parked.
it's been parked since new motor's been put in it.
No,
Since
no.
Since our term started, it's been parked.
But the motor, it did fire up,
Yeah.
Yeah. Put new batteries on it.
isn't that right?
yeah, it fired up.
It
They
fired
put
up,
the
I reckon,
new batteries in it out there.
yeah, it surprised him that it fired that quick.
Yeah.
I make a motion to go with the fourth.
Actually, I'd say to approve.
Yeah, to approve the 6350. Is that right?
Yeah.
6350, yes.
350.
I'll second it.
Mr. Chandler. Second. Yes, we now better have a roll call, Ms. Clerk.
Michael Chandler.
Yes.
Bill Crane.
Yes.
Jordan Devine.
Yes.
Kathy Dean.
Yes.
Terry Hickey.
Yes.
Terry Hodges.
Yes.
Dusty Mabel.
Yes.
Kenny Smith.
No.
Rick Wall.
Yes.
Michael Woodley.
No.
Who knows? Is that what, anybody want to change their vote? Motion carried. Next.
All right, the next one under new business right there is the TCRS, Employment Contribution Rate Certification. Heather's needing this just to be verified so that for the start of the fiscal year, July 1, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. You have the schedule there on the back side there. The employee does 5% and the county 2%.
We need to approve this. Is this what, I mean?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Mr. Woodley made a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Smith made it, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. I don't know. We gotta do something with this right here. Huh? Yeah. That's why we're getting things together.
Well, I'll have to steal one from you.
Christine asked about a board meeting, if we could do a joint one. Our next one is scheduled for April the 19th. That may be a little bit soon for you guys, for you to research things or whatever. Our next one in May will be either the 17th or 24th. And that is either the third or fourth Wednesday of the month, so it'll be one of those two dates. So those are dates that you can keep in mind,
It was May the what?
17th or 24th. We haven't set it yet. I'll know on the 20th of April. They usually start at 5:30, and we can have it back in the library like we had it when we met all together before at the high school.
Thank you again.
Also, and this was in the expositor the other day, and I think y'all had a joint chat about this, about the information on the Masonic building. If you see in fine print right there, I pulled this out of some regulations of stuff that we had already, and that is stating because there was questions that the building would not be bid or something like that. It explains everything in here that has to be done. So I was just giving this to you so that in case somebody on the street came up to you and started questioning, that you could tell them of the situation there, of how it actually stands. Because some people were thinking that it's already guaranteed for certain people, and according to the rules and regulations, that's not true.
Well, it also reads in the notice that was placed in the paper, the way it sounds is as though we are going to run the daycare and that we are going to employ.
That is not true.
That was a lot of the concern.
This will go to Committee B, which I talked to Mr. Rick Wall a while ago. This will go to Mr. Rick Wall for him, because them being the buildings committee, for them to work out the situations of what needs to be done. And, well, Mr. Dusty Maid will too, because him being the chairman. I seen Rick a while ago, and so I was explaining to him that this would have to go to Committee B. And so when it comes time, then this will be going to Committee B first. Even though Committee A is going to have to do something with the money, it needs to go to Committee B first. Because actually both are going to have to deal with it. It's just a matter of the time frame.
Made any progress at all over there?
They put that in the paper, so hopefully the next thing will be the architect, them letting the bid for architect. And like I said, trying to deal with them. We'll sign one paper and send it back, and then they sign another and says, you got to do this one. Then you got to send it to 5 different people. You wouldn't believe the paperwork that's been in this already, and part of this is even going to Louisiana for somebody to acknowledge. I don't understand it, but that's part of the grant situation, and we're just having to follow the rules and regulations there. So, but that's all I have. This was just for information only. It was not meant to be to adopt anything. It was just verification in case you got somebody on the streets ask you for information.
Is that all you have?
That's all I have.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we adjourn.
Hang on just a minute, please. Does anybody from the audience have anything they would like to, Mr. Brock, you got anything?
I do have one thing, appreciate what Mr. Sullivan said, segue there. This is just for information only too, something that we're working on in the sheriff's office. We had some questions through some meetings about the comp time that's been acquired by some folks, and we've put some information together. We'd like to let you have that to take home and look at it, and then I would like to come to the next Committee A meeting and discuss that. But if you guys can take this with you, if you have any questions looking over it, feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Thank you, sir.
What's the maximum amount of comp time that they can accrue?
Over the cap. And we're gonna try to get that down. I'm actually gonna revise the policy, and we're looking at the lower caps and comp time, so it's reviewed annually, and try to get it more manageable.
So do you have a comp on your vacation?
Yes,
Is it-
right now it is, it's 300 hours right now, which, I'm open to talk about that, I know opinions about that, but.
Comp is
Yeah. Comp's 150. Per the policy right now.
For current policy. Anybody else have anything? I'll entertain your motion, Mr. Woodley. Do I hear a
Wait a
second?
minute. What about the human waste? Are we gonna move forward on that?
We hadn't.
Or are we gonna- what are we
Human
gonna do?
waste, there's gonna be an open meeting the 28th at 5 o'clock. Leo, what is his last name? Aki, yes, thank you, whoever. He is doing a meeting, and the state's supposed to be there, and Chris, I think you're gonna be there too, aren't you? And there's gonna be different people that's been invited to come and talk, and if people would like to come to the meeting, please come, and then, after that meeting, then whatever we need to do, we can talk to Howard about in the future.
What time it is?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Is the lady that's over that, has she been invited?
Do what now?
The lady that's over it up
The
there?
lady over in Chattanooga has been invited. TDEC has been invited. The mayor has been asked to come, but you know he's not gonna come from Chattanooga.
Where's it gonna be, the
It's
meeting?
gonna be, Chris is gonna host it over there because he has the electronic equipment there if anyone needs. It'd be April the 28th
We're off.
at the agriculture building. 5 o'clock. And I'll have it put out there. I'll have Melinda send y'all a notice there, you know what I'm saying, on your phone there when it gets closer, or that day, or a few days ahead, whichever one you would prefer. As a matter of fact, the vehicles came by the house last night. The honey wagon was in front, and then they had a big four-wheel drive pan loader scraping the road right behind it.
So they was putting it on the road?
It was coming off of the tracks of the honey wagon. And they were scraping the main road. I thought, what in the world is that coming down through there? Looked out the door, and there they were, they were scraping the road as it went.
Anything else? Mr. Woodley made a motion to adjourn. Do I hear a second? Mr. Crane seconded. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?